Good morning, Rim Country. You're listening to 99.7 KPJM LP, The Bridge. You're on The View from the Rim with DJ Pammy.
And Mikey.
A little bit later, we have an interview coming up. I have a special guest in the studio with me. Today, I have Jewell Hill with me and the Golden Rule. We're going to go over some cool stuff. I worked with the guys at the Hope House. There's people out there that choose to be homeless. Mm-hmm. They choose to live that way. And to judge them, that's not on us. Mm-hmm. We don't know what that person's been through, and we don't know why that they're homeless or why they're choosing to be. Mm-hmm. Some choose and some don't choose. But here she is to help the people in our community get a little bit of something in their stomachs when they need it. These hand warmers, I don't know how many times last year in winter, or this year when we had our winter, it was very cold.
Yeah.
This year was extremely cold. And we had quite a few homeless people on the streets that we stopped to help because there was a lady that was 65 years old. Oh. She just left the nursing home and they couldn't keep her there anymore. After a certain time, it's out of their hands. They have to say, you have to go. So this woman went out, lived on the street, 65 years old, and a woman called me and said, what do I do? I'm sick to my stomach over this. So we called the churches in our community, and finally one church stopped what they were doing, put that woman into a hotel for a few days, and then got her the transportation down to Phoenix to a homeless shelter that is open to the public.
It's down to the valley. Thank goodness.
Yes, and we here have nothing for that. And to help the homeless is one of my goals. I want to be able to do something for them. As I tell Mikey all the time, I'm hopeless. I feel hopeless because what do we do for them? They're going back into sleep in the woods and now they're cold. Well, in this little Golden Rule bag, they have socks they can put on. They have, we were talking the other day, what's something else that can go into these bags? And we thought about it. Feminine products.
Right.
Yes. And you talked about a lady that you knew that you met, and her organization is called In Her Shoes.
In Her Shoes, yeah. And they're valley-based primarily, but the concept, it's funny, you brought it up, and I met her. She's also a vocalist, so it's kind of neat. But yeah, the idea of, homeless and female. Oh, joy.
Oh, yeah. What am I going to do? So I stopped and thought of that when my sister came in, and I showed her the bag, and I said, check this out. Look at what this lady's doing in our community. And she's like, oh, that's amazing. We totally need more bags like that. Well, yeah, we do. So remember, the Golden Rule organization is a nonprofit. They do have a 501c3. They are a charity, and they do take donations. So donations are welcome. I mean, you can go out, you could buy the peanut butter, you could buy the hard candies,
Absolutely.
The Smarties, the cough drops, the vitamin C gummies. You could go out and buy those,
a
little
case of socks. A case
socks
of scarves.
are amazing,
Yeah.
or beanies, anything to put in these bags to help them. She has all this labeled out, and the total of this bag is about $5. Mm-hmm. And she has done a few hundred last year.
Golden Rule is a driving force.
Nice. And there's a lot of good people still left in the world. And the Golden Rule proves that to them. All of you are volunteers, right? Mm-hmm. You volunteer
We're volunteer
your times.
only. Nobody in Golden Rule gets a salary. And if I could, I was going to say something about, when I was listening to you speak about how I think a lot of us feel, a ton of us feel exactly like you do, and it's heartbreaking. And there's almost nothing worse than something you can't do a dang thing about. Yeah. It's horrible. And you feel kind of paralyzed sometimes, like you're somebody with a garden hose on the Towering Inferno. You're too young to know that movie.
Yes.
But it's this movie about a skyscraper that's, ablaze, right? And you got your garden hose.
Oh, wow.
And you feel so pathetic, right? Because you got a garden hose on the World Trade Center burning. And it's really easy, and it's happened to me many times throughout my life. And then I try to regain that inspiration and that drive to do something, do anything. Because you feel like your little something is so darn tiny that it doesn't make a difference.
Right.
And it's easy to let that feeling of impotence and futility and hopelessness set in. And I think there are millions upon millions of us who really do care, and it's hurting us to know about various types of suffering that are going on that we just don't feel like we can do a thing about. And this is just one tiny, tiny little example, but I gotta tell you that the little You Are Loved bags are fantastic. And when you give one and someone shakes your hand and smiles and he says, hey, I'm Tom, and I say, hey, I'm Jewell, Jewell. Nice to meet you, Tom. That particular fellow was out at Walmart, and he looked down and he started to cry, and he said, I don't know when the last time was that someone called me by my name.
Aw. Yeah, it's definitely touching. Remember, you guys.
You can do something, any small thing, and you may never even meet a Golden Rule person, but you could do your own bags even.
Yeah, you can. Make a difference in someone else's life out there. Like she said, Tom, sitting there at Walmart with nothing, nobody to talk to, and he was called by his name. Sometimes that's all they need is a hand to shake and to say, you know, I'm thinking of you, and God bless you.
You're loved.
You are loved, and you are not alone. You're definitely not alone. There is other people out there suffering and trying to find their way back into the world, trying to make a life for themselves, help somebody in need. There's a lot of people out there that need a little bit of help. So to add, when we were talking about In Her Shoes, are you guys going to work together on these bags and maybe add some feminine products in there? Because that's one thing that I notice isn't getting sent out. Absolutely.
Cece's the lady who does it down in Phoenix with In Her Shoes. And I guess maybe I'll carry one for women and one for men, maybe. A he bag and a she bag.
Nice. That'd be really cool. So, you know, donations are always welcome. And remember, you can call her at 719-221-9779. Also, you can visit their website, www.thegoldenrule.net. Check it out. Look for more information. Remember, they are a 501c3, so donations are always welcome. We're going to get back into a little bit of her music. You know, a lot of us out there, not only are we suffering from heartaches, some of us are suffering from addictions, and how we're going to get through that. Well, let's talk a little bit about it. Music helps a lot of people through hard times in their life. And her music, I'm amazed by how you've put all this together and made it into something that can relate to people's lives. Like Average Angel. This song's about all lost souls. Everybody out there, when we're suffering with our addictions, we feel we're lost. Our souls are lost. How do I get it back? How do I bring it back? How do I get myself back? Well, you have to work on it, and you have to want it for yourself before anything could ever change. Today, we're going to play a few of her songs, one of them being Average Angel. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what Average Angel is?
Sure, thanks. And when you were talking, one of the things that I thought of is I think that a lot of us end up feeling, between all the twists and turns in our lives, feeling like a hunk of junk, basically, and really getting completely out of touch with anything good inside of us. My personal belief is that there is a spark of incredibly perfect, beautiful divinity in each and every one of us. And so that's why I said you're an average angel, because I always look for the angel inside of everybody's eyes. Sometimes it's pretty tough to see.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Including in my own eyes. So for me, even the path of healing has been, and I think for everybody, is to be able to, even if you can't imagine one good thing about yourself, you feel like the biggest abject loser that ever existed, to try to even have a teeny bit of faith and believe there must be something good about you, and keep looking for that and keep finding it and keep feeding it, like watering a plant. Because if you water that good plant, it's going to keep growing. And so that was kind of the concept of Average Angel, of spotting that there's something fabulous about you. There are things about you that are wonderful and good that you haven't ever even thought of. And I think that's part of healing, healing ourselves to become whole again from whatever traumas, sorrows, injuries, neglect we've suffered over the years.
People have programmed your brain with all this negativity, and eventually that negativity is going to stick with you to where you think, I'm a loser. I do not matter. I cannot do that. I can't do this. That's all negative programming.
Right.
And we have to stop and reprogram our brains, because that is not true. I sat there and thought, when I went through my addiction, and I suffered for many years with my addiction, and thinking, this is what my life was meant to be. This is where I'm supposed to be. I'm supposed to be high, and I'm not supposed to think about it, and I don't want to deal with it, and I don't want to hear it. I'm closing my ears and I'm not listening to you.
Might as well check out.
I'm checking out
because there's no point.
Yes.
Nothing good's going to happen anyway.
Right. But you know what? We're wrong. We need to try, and like she says in this song, we need to try and laugh at life's messes, because there's a lot of mess in life, and we need to work through it ourselves. As a child, things can go wrong in your life. Abuse, divorces, sexual abuse. a lot of things can happen to you as a child, and as you get older, you think that was all your fault. No, that wasn't your fault. It's just some people have to go through things like that, but it builds you to be who you are today. You're listening to 99.7 KPJM LP, The Bridge.